Good afternoon, dear professors, jury members, examiners. Thank you for being here, participating in my thesis defense. My name is Maimi Yang. Today, my research topic is about on optimizing direct mail target selection, and this is an empirical study. My supervisor is Professor Kiani Godarzi. So let's get started. By the way, my voice is a bit hoarse due to a very bad cold like 1 week ago, so please excuse me if it's not very good. This is my research, my presentation agenda today. First, I would start from my area of research and then research background. After that, I will start with my research questions. And after that, I will be presenting my theoretic framework, including the threshold model. After that, I will be presenting my research roadmap and also the methodology canvas. And after that, I will be presenting my research findings. And finally, we conclude with my managerial contributions and also the future experiment considerations. Okay, let's get started. Area of research. As I just mentioned earlier, this research is to optimize a direct mail target list. Now, please allow me to introduce a little bit about the research background. Let's just say there are two parties involved with this research project, Party 1 and Party 2. Party 1 is actually an international cosmetic brand which has been operating in China for over a decade, and it has been very, very successful. It's a pretty high-end brand in China. The annual custom volume for local market in China is approximately 500,000, including both online and offline channels. The major product line of this brand included skincare, makeup, fragrances. Well, it was during 2019, summertime, the marketing manager of this brand came to us because we are the Party 2, which is a German CRM service provider. We provide data science related consulting and solution services to a lot of international retailers upon request. So when the marketing manager came to us for asking for help because they were having a brand new product about launching soon. Summertime is actually a very slow season for cosmetic industry for obvious reasons because it's too hot, number one reason. So the product still has to be launched. So the marketing manager was thinking about do a direct mail campaign because they have some sample product produced in their stock. But they have very limited sample product. So they came to us asking for help. Who should they target? Obviously, they cannot target everybody. So we were actually in a pretty much privileged position because we could access to their CRM database. We had, for this project alone, we could access to the data starting from the beginning of 2018 until up to the point they came to us for help, which was summer of 2019. So the data actually were point of sale transaction data. It's purely organic. Well, because I did this project afterwards, so I could access to the data even until July of 2020. Now, given by this research background, this is my research questions. My research questions are actually divided by two different angles. The first angle is from the angle of the firm. The second angle is from the angle of the customer. Research question number 1. In a context of direct mail marketing, to what extent does a firm's target selection strategy influence customer purchase behavior within a 3-month period? Research question 2 is about the customer. How a customer prior purchasing behaviors inform her future purchase behavior. Research question number 3 is about the firm again. If technological methods alone is found to be insufficient for achieving optimal results in direct mail target selection, what alternative for supplementary methods can be employed? Finally, it's about the firm again. In a context of a short-term direct mail marketing, why might targeting customer with a low unconditional probability of buying not be more advantageous than targeting those with a high unconditional high unconditional probability of buying? Notice unconditional probability buying here referring to a customer's innate probability of buying without being exposed to any external marketing interventions. So given by this research question and research background, everything, here are my research hypotheses. I have 4 hypotheses defined. Hypothesis number 1, receiving product gift from the firm can increase the customer's vitality, which could increase her probability of repurchase. Hypothesis number 2, technological methods alone is insufficient for firms to achieve optimization for direct mail target selection. The economics of profit, which build upon the technology, is also required. Hypothesis number 3, customers' recent purchase behavior are related with their future repurchase decision due to inertia. Finally, it's more beneficial for firms to prioritize targeting customers with higher unconditional purchase probability instead of lower ones. Well, this only applies to short-term campaign. Given by my research hypothesis, now I'm about to present my theoretic framework. As we could see, there are 2 different color themes of this chart. The green color sector representing customer-related information, and the plum color representing firm-related information. The dashed line are actually the hypothesis of this research, and the solid black line are the design process for this entire framework. Well, first let's look at the green color sectors. Well, empirically, also theoretically, we know customers' past purchase behaviors can impact her repurchase decision. Let's suppose this applies to a direct mail targeting context. If the firm could take advantage of this information, let's say if they want to make a prediction about customers' repurchase decision, given by customers' past purchase behaviors, they could use their in-house modeling tech tool to produce an output score, which is an index score representing each customer's, let's say, a purchase likelihood. Suppose the likelihood score ranging from 0 to 1, the higher the better. So given by the firm cannot target every single customer, and based on the score, they have to make a decision to only target those customers with their index score. It's above a kind of a threshold. And then those customers belong to the target list because their index score is above this threshold. Once they receive the direct mail, they would make a purchase accordingly. So based on this closed loop framework, the threshold becomes very, very critical. It's actually one of the most important, most critical elements of my research for this project. Now, how do we define a threshold? Well, to choose a threshold between 0 to 1 can be arbitrary, but the consequence is not arbitrary, because if you choose the threshold not in a wise way, you could lose money, your campaign can fail. So based on this premise, I borrowed Wanspeak 1995's threshold model, which is an econometric modeling framework. The main rationale behind their model is, suppose there exists a unique threshold point NT, which implies if and only if, when an individual's customer I's index score NI is greater or equal than NT, she will be then more inclined to exert effort and possibly makes a positive reply upon receiving a direct mail. Hence, the firm decides to only target this particular cohort of customers, aiming for short-term profit maximization. In economic terms, that is when marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. For this threshold model main rationale to hold, we have to rely upon 2 main assumptions. Assumption 1, it is a perfectly competitive market, so that firms are a price taker. Secondly, the assumption 2, total expected revenue function FR has to be differentiable and strictly concave, so we could find a global maxima. Now, given by this threshold model, this is my research roadmap. There are 7 different stages of this research roadmap. Actually, given by this context, stage 1 and stage 2, they're pretty closely intertwined, because we could access to their data very straightforwardly, very easy. So while they briefed to us, we could already started doing literature review, and in the same time, we could already think about the variables because it's so easy to access to the data. And then at the stage 3, we started to construct the theoretic model. At the stage 3, we started to construct the theoretic model. After that, I started explorative modeling. After that is the predictive modeling. And integration step 3, 4, 5 can finally validate the chosen approach validity using data collected, campaign exposed. Here is my research methodology canvas. This is actually pretty much aligned with my research roadmap. The literature review part is actually a confluence of 3 major frontiers. It has elements of relationship marketing, also response modeling, also econometric modeling. And then data collection, as I mentioned earlier, is pretty straightforward because we could access to the data directly. So a lot of measurement error can be avoided. And also, I already started with some anomaly detections. And the threat model part basically deals with to sketch an agency theory framework to begin with. We take apart with firm's incentive and also customer utility, and then to derive the threshold based on Belt-Wanspeak's theoretic model to maximize short-term profit. And then the explorative modeling part, basically, I applied parametric and semi-parametric test. Parametric test, I used a linear probability model. For the non-parametric test, I used a GAN model. Basically, it explores what behavior is related with customers' retention and how do those relationships look like. Given by the theoretic threshold being derived upfront, assuming it is optimal, thereby multiple approaches to estimate customer repurchase likelihood should be attempted. I tried logistic regression model as the baseline. I also used a list of machine learning models, such as boosting models. And then to integrate step 3, 4, 5, the predictive accuracy from step 5 could already justify the selected candidate variable's relevance. And then to combine step 5's output in conjunction with the theoretic threshold output from stage number 3, I could validate the optimality of the chosen threshold and to measure also the causal impact of the direct mail campaign like this scale using a linear model based on an experimental setting. I mentioned about the variables. These are my choice of variables. There are 2 sets of variables. First set is dependent variable. It's pretty straightforward, retain. Retain can be defined as if a customer made a repurchase after 3 months since their last purchase. And the independent set of variable actually can be 6 minutes. Oh, the independent variable can be divided by 4 different dimensions: product prestige preference, channel preference, product diversity preference, and recency, frequency, monetary value, and also relationship length dimension. This is my evaluation framework for targeting strategy. Basically, it's partitioned by 2 different time windows: campaign start, which is campaign ex-ante comparison, and campaign ex-post comparison. Basically, it's model comparison, also threshold comparison. Here are my research findings. First of all, receiving direct mail helps. Secondly, customers' past purchase behaviors that I chose are very significantly related with her repurchase. Thirdly, the threshold model defined by the econometric modeling framework directs the application of machine learning model. Finally, the result underlines potential futility of a target customer who exhibit lower probability of purchase using purchase to regress on predicted probability. And this is to elaborate further, these are my quantitative results. Result 1, first of all, the independent variables are significantly related with my dependent variable. This is a linear model, so the relationship presupposed to be linear. However, the non-parametric test result shows continuous variable are definitely not linearly correlated with the dependent variable. So it is not wise to opt in for a linear model if we want to make an optimal prediction. That's why I opt in for machine learning model. And then this is the direct mailing effect. Given by the linear probability model, it shows receiving direct mail can increase the customer's likelihood about 5.2%. Finally, this result shows the chosen approach of the model and also the threshold to combine them together. Indeed, what I chose was the optimal one, given by the profit generated. So given by all these findings, These are my managerial contributions. First of all, campaign frequency matters. Secondly, campaign goal matters. Thirdly, modeling matters. I'm a model person. I'm a data scientist, so I believe in models. And finally, target selection also matters. These are my future experimental considerations. First of all, we think firms should control smaller control groups with closed monitoring mechanism to evaluate both a short-term and long-term effect of direct mail campaign. Secondly, we think firms should conduct highly concentrated interventions with reasonable investment, especially on smaller treatment groups, to optimize direct mail campaigns' payoff function. Thirdly, risk and reward has to be taken into account. Finally, it helps to integrate offline data and online data together for calibrating targeted marketing. And with that, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your time, and I welcome for any question you may have.